Today, I have built an all-time Alabama Crimson Tide roster in Madden 25. The Crimson Tide are the greatest college football program of all time with 18 national championships and 4 Heisman Trophy winners. But today, Alabama has a new challenge because I'm putting this all-time roster into the NFL for one season to see if they can bring home the Lombardi Trophy. This offense is headlined by the 4 Heisman Trophy winners in Alabama history at quarterback, Bryce Young, at wide receiver, Devontae Smith, and the 2 running backs to win the Heisman for the Crimson Tide. We have Derrick Henry and Mark Ingram. And here's an overall look at the entire Crimson Tide all-time offense. Then on the defensive side of the ball, we have players like Quinnen Williams, Patrick Surtain, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Mark Barron, just to name a few. And here's a look at the full all-time Crimson Tide defense. And we are here in Tuscaloosa as the Crimson Tide make their first ever NFL entrance. And Alabama's taking the field for their first ever drive in the NFL that I am controlling. And the reason why I'm controlling a preseason game instead of a regular season game is because I don't want to control anything that actually happens in season. I want it to be all simulated, but I did want to play one drive with them live on the field so I can show you all what we have. As you have Julio Jones making a grab for Alabama. He's wearing his number 8 that he wore in college. Now you're going to see Derrick Henry wearing his number 2 he wore in college, but somebody like Amari Cooper is wearing 11 because his number 9 is taken by Bryce Young. So some of these guys do have their college numbers, but if they were taken by somebody else on the team, I had to give them a different number. Let's just take a look at this roster. Left to right, Derrick Henry, Devontae Smith, Bryce Young in the middle, OJ Howard, Amari Cooper, Julio Jones, and that's just the beginning. You got Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Waddle, Mark Ingram right now on the bench as we keep going to Julio Jones right now. But I do want to know in the comments down below, what are you predicting for Alabama's record for this NFL season sim? I definitely think we're going to make the playoffs. This roster's too stacked and has too many great NFL players currently on it right now for us not to make the playoffs. And then we got Bryce Young in his prime, basically at his max Heisman Trophy winner potential. So that could lead to us having a pretty good season. If it was Carolina Panthers Bryce Young, I'm not too sure. Can I have King Henry? This would be crazy, and we're almost picked. Also, if this video gets 1,500 likes, I'll put another all-time college team into the NFL to do the same exact thing. Just let me know which one you want to see in the comments down below. We can do Ohio State. We can do LSU. I had to focus real quick because OJ Howard just made an amazing catch to keep this drive going. But let me know in the comments down below which college you'd like to see next, as we are in the red zone. Got Jerry Jeudy on the field right now. He's not wearing his number 4. He's rocking number 1 for us, as I'm almost picked right there. Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Waddle still hasn't made an appearance. I can't wait to see the season simulation stats. Who's going to lead this team in receiving? Is it going to be Derrick Henry or Mark Ingram for rushing? And we're going back to Julio Jones, who makes it 3rd and 3. And I'm obviously going for it on 4th down because this is a preseason game and it doesn't matter anyway. So I'm running it once at least with King Henry, who picks up the first Heisman Trophy. King Henry. I think he's going to punch it. I'm going right back to him. King Henry on the ground is in for the Crimson Tide. Their first NFL touchdown in the preseason. And we're going to go for 2 because why not? We're only playing a preseason game here, and I put Jalen Waddle out here for the first time. I haven't even targeted, though, Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith. Get him the 2-point conversion. I mean, this team is absolutely loaded. And I'm very excited to see this defense as well, the Crimson Tide defense. I'm using Dante Hightower. We got Quinnen Williams on the D-line, Jonathan Allen, Eric Curry. You have Patrick Surtain, corner. You have Trayvon Diggs at corner. Minkah is going to be our safety. And that's going to be a screen all day, but Trevor Lawrence is taken down, and that's going to be Quinnen Williams. This Tide defense could be better than the Tide offense, and the offense is amazing. I got Minkah. I'm going back. I got Brian Thomas-Usert and Trevor Lawrence, who was great at Clemson. He saw this Tide team a lot, but he's seeing the absolute peak of them right now. And now it's time to jump into the regular season. Now, we did see me jump in and score a touchdown and a good defensive drive. Now it's all up to the CPU for the whole season. And what can the Crimson Tide do? Tackling Najee Harris for a loss. That's going to be Jonathan Allen on the D-line, who's going to make it a 3rd and 12 immediately. And you don't want to be in a 3rd and long against this Tide defense. Corner stacked, safety stacked, middle linebacker stacked. Defensive line stack. Here comes Quinnen Williams. Russell Wilson has to throw it away, and it's an immediate 3 and out for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I also downloaded these jerseys and this stadium for the Crimson Tide, and it looks absolutely awesome. So I'm very excited for this video. Hopefully bring home a Lombardi. Bryce Young channeling his inner Heisman Trophy winner right now as he's going to go over the middle of Julio Jones. Can Bryce Young win a Super Bowl? Just not for the Panthers, for his old college team, where he won a national championship as well. We are about to find out. Gotta watch out for TJ Watt. Say hello to the outside Julio Jones, but it's incomplete. This drive could stop at midfield. Could be a little anticlimactic. I was expecting fireworks. Mark Ingram out of the backfield. He motions out. Bryce Young all day to throw over the middle. He connects. That's going to be Julio again. Right now it's the Julio Jones and OJ Howard show. And now King Henry, Heisman Trophy winner, Derrick Henry gets a carry for 9. I also don't know why, but the CPU, Trent Richardson, was a good player for the Tide. He's always on the field over somebody like Jerry Jeudy or Jalen Waddle, Amari Cooper. That one's going to be caught by Devontae Smith, Heisman Trophy winner, to the 4. So CPU might be a little glitch. We might be seeing a lot of Trent Richardson lined up at wide receiver instead of running back too, so it doesn't make any sense. But first and goal from the 4, and Bryce Young to the end zone. That is caught for the Tide. Julio Jones scores a touchdown for his alma mater. Bryce Young might have his name in MVP debates. He might be the MVP. With this roster, he could be the MVP. He'll feel comfortable back in Tuscaloosa. How good is this team? 31-7 in the third quarter against the Steelers team that's playing great in real NFL football right now. It's 52-7. The Crimson Tide just destroyed the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm very excited to see where we stand at midseason. And the Crimson Tide are your leading team in the entire NFL. They are 8-0 halfway through the season. Bryce Young, I said he'd be in MVP talks. He definitely is. Through 8 games, 30 touchdowns, 5 picks, almost 2,200 yards. The King and Heisman Trophy winner leads the Crimson Tide 765 yards through 8 games and 2 touchdowns. And the leading receiver for the Tide so far is Julio Jones with 556 yards and 5 touchdowns. Next up, we sim to the playoffs. The all-time Tide went undefeated in the NFL. That is insane at 17-0. Bryce Young threw for 5,052 yards, 59 touchdowns, and 11 picks. Derrick Henry ran for 1,600 yards and 11 touchdowns. And Devontae Smith was a Heisman Trophy candidate with 1,600 yards and 19 touchdowns. And the first playoff game for the Tide is a divisional round matchup against these Detroit Lions in Tuscaloosa, where it's a possible 20-0 season on the line. I definitely knew the Tide were going to be good. I definitely thought we'd make the playoffs. I didn't think we'd go undefeated though, but that's what has happened as Julio Jones in the playoffs makes a grab to the 43-yard line already. We're taking on a 10-7 Lions team that's better in real life than they are in the game. You can't sleep on them. It's only 1 game elimination from this point on, and I would love to see a 20-0 season for the Crimson Tide. Bryce Young is unbelievable, and Julio Jones making 2 grabs. I want to play a full season with this team. I might just do that on my own time. This looks like so much fun in the NFL as Bryce Young is sacked. Wow, by Aiden Hutchinson making a return. Injuries are turned off in this franchise because we don't want to see any of these Crimson Tide players get injured. So anybody that was injured throughout the season makes a return. And we got Mark Ingram for the first time. He makes a grab, a Heisman Trophy winner, and he's going to pick up 6. It'll be 4th down. We'll see if they can make a kick. The only thing I did forget was to make an all-time Alabama kicker and punter, but it is what it is. We have an auto-generated one, I believe, that they gave us with the team builder. And he's able to knock that one through. I expected a touchdown for this Alabama Crimson Tide offense to start off the playoffs, but any points are good points. And look at the defense. That was crazy. I felt like they were in the backfield in 1 second on Jahmyr Gibbs. Look at the middle of that defensive line. All the star abilities. You got Surtain, Trayvon Diggs. You got Minka. This team is absolutely loaded. And now Jared Goff, seeing the pressure, and he's taken down by Ragland. 12-yard loss for Jared Goff, and it's 3rd and 23. And I don't like the Lions' chances. I don't like the Lions' chances. Here comes Ragland again. Jared Goff, though, able to get that one deep, and it's broken up down the field. Goff was actually looking for Jamison Williams down the field, too, who I could have put on this team. He had a great season for Alabama, I believe, like 2021. Had over 1,500 receiving yards, but the wide receiver room was already stacked. Amari Cooper barely has had any catches because this team is so stacked, but he gets himself a grab. And now Bryce Young inside the red zone. He goes to Amari Cooper, and Cooper breaks a tackle, and Amari Cooper gets himself a first. The Crimson Tide, the greatest college program ever, is about to win a Super Bowl and go 20-0 with their all-time roster. I don't think if I put another college into this game, they will replicate this. They will do probably pretty good because a lot of colleges have a lot of NFL talent in it. But I don't know if they'll go 20-0 and win the Super Bowl. That one was targeted for Cooper, broken up. We still got a few games before we get to that, so I cannot get that excited about a 20-0 Super Bowl season for the Tide. Touchdown here would help, though. Bryce Young getting pressure. He'll throw it away. I'm still going to skip towards the end of this game. It was Roll Tide. It was roll over the Detroit Lions. 30-0. This Tide team is the greatest team in NFL history right now. And we're 2 games away from the Lombardi. Making their way to Tuscaloosa next for the NFC Championship for the Philadelphia Eagles. But incoming, going for 19-0 with this game, Bryce Young and the Tide. 2 games away from a perfect season. 1 game away from a Super Bowl to play for a Lombardi to go with their 18 national championships. And we're going to see Mark Ingram on a carry to start off this NFC Championship. Let's see where Bryce Young wants to go on a 3rd down. Pick your weapon. O.J. Howard going to be in motion. Let's see where he's going to go. Might go to Howard. Plenty of time. Pass protection is great. He's going to try to run. It's good to know that he still makes mistakes here and there. And funny enough, the quarterback on the other side of this team is Jalen Hurts, another Alabama alumni, and he was almost taken down by Jonathan Allen. That one's dropped by Barkley. I could have put Jalen Hurts as one of the backup quarterbacks. I have Bryce Young as the starter and then Tua as the backup. I figured let Jalen Hurts stay in the league. We don't want to take every single Alabama player if we have the roster spots filled up. A.J. Brown makes a grab for 9. Got Trayvon Diggs, Surtain, just to name a couple of these all-time corners for Alabama. So they can defend pretty much all the Eagles wide receivers. Trayvon Diggs going to make a tackle on Jalen Hurts. It would be interesting, though, to see Jalen Hurts, a different Alabama alumni, take out the entire Crimson Tide all-time team as he's going to have a man in motion to pick up a first. I don't like that one bit. I don't like the Eagles getting on the board first, but they are just feeding Saquon Barkley down to the 8. Let's see. He's got time. He might run. Jalen Hurts, touchdown for the Eagles in Tuscaloosa. And who knows? This could be the first deficit of the year. Tide has a chance to answer, though. We're at 7-0, first quarter, almost coming to an end, but they're inside the red zone. You got Heisman Trophy winner King Henry, who will tie this game right up. Stiff arm to Darius Slay at the end. Touchdown, Roll Tide. Now I'm going to simulate this game with all of you. Let's see where the score goes. If it's close at the end, we are jumping in as Alabama has jumped out to a 16-10 lead, 24-10 lead in the 3rd quarter. Now it's a 3-possession game. If the Eagles can hold Alabama to 3, this is a 2-possession game. A touchdown's going to end it, which it probably will. That should be the dagger where it's 34-17. And it will be the dagger. The Crimson Tide are on their way to the Super Bowl to play for a Lombardi trophy. And in the Super Bowl, out of the AFC, it's the Ravens. And out of college football, but for this video, out of the NFC, the Crimson Tide are here. And in Super Bowl 59, 1 season in the NFL, the Crimson Tide are here to put 1 Lombardi with their 18 national championships. And King Henry with the stiff arm gets a first down on the first play from scrimmage. Crimson Tide going for the first ever 20-0 perfect season. And that one's going to be incomplete as it's 3rd and 6. Can the Ravens stop them from going 20-0? We will have to see. That would be historic. And for a college team to do it would be crazy. Let's see, Bryce Young on a 3rd and 6. He's got time. He's going to run. Bryce Young going to use his legs and goes down with a first. From the 30-yard line, Bryce Young all day to throw. He's got Amari Cooper. And Amari Cooper is inside the 10. Can the Tide strike first here in the Super Bowl? 2nd and goal from the 6, going empty. Let's see where Bryce wants to go. He goes to the tight end. O.J. Howard, touchdown, Tide in the Super Bowl. And now we take on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. And they have no Derrick Henry, who they do have, though, because this roster was so stacked, I actually didn't need all the running backs. They have Eddie Lacy on their team, a prime college Eddie Lacy. But it doesn't, I thought it didn't matter because Lamar was going to get sacked. But I had Henry, I had Ingram already, and Trent Richardson. I was like, I don't even need Eddie Lacy on the roster, so I released him. And he winds up on the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Oh, that's going to be unfortunate if we wind up losing. Hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt us, as they're going to have, I think, Deontay Johnson for a first. Lamar is sacked! Down he goes by Kirkpatrick. Ravens ultimately winded up in a 4th and 9, where Justin Tucker is going to attempt a 59-yard field goal. He hasn't been great this season, but in Madden, He's still not good because he missed. Lamar Jackson was down 10-0 in this game, but it's now 10-10 as we are at the 2-minute warning. And Bryce Young needs to get a score for the Tide for them to take the lead in the Super Bowl once again. He's going to hit Julio Jones for 8 yards to get them to the 11. Marlon Humphrey's also on the Ravens. I could have added him to all-time Alabama. So there are a couple of guys I could have added when I was making this roster. But we do have 4 all-time Alabama corners already. And that one's going to be caught by Devontae Smith. And Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner, who had a national championship game winner for the Tide. He was looking to get a Super Bowl touchdown for them right there. And he still might be able to, unless they go to King Henry. 28 seconds left in the half. And Bryce Young will throw. Where is he going to go? Bryce Young. Maybe he runs here. Bryce Young taking off. And he's down at the 1. And now from the 1-yard line, I think you go to the King. You have 2 timeouts, 20 seconds. Derrick Henry will walk in for the Tide. The Tide take a 24-10 lead. The Tide make it 27-10. It's 27-17. And I think we're going victory formation, if I'm not mistaken. It is victory formation. The Ravens out of timeouts. And the Alabama Crimson Tide will go victory formation in the Super Bowl. The 20-0 season has been cemented. The greatest college football program of all time has created the greatest NFL team of all time. A 20-0 record for the Crimson Tide and a Lombardi Trophy. 18-time national champions. But they will only be 1-time Super Bowl champions, where they will see the Lombardi Trophy go through all of their players as they walk it up to the NFL Commissioner, Roger Goodell, where he will present the Alabama Crimson Tide. It's not Nick Saban on the podium who gets to coach this team for the win. That's going to do it for the video, everyone. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.